Nope. Hello, and welcome to the Joyful Living Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Dixon. The purpose of the Joyful Living Podcast is to share stories of hope, inspiration, and ultimately joy. It is to share your stories, the stories of moms and dads, entrepreneurs, nonprofit organizers, and anyone who has gone through some type of trial, some struggle, some challenging time in their life, yet they still have their joy. Because the world that we live in today can be a really dark place. And we need to hear the stories of people who have gone through similar situations as ourselves and have more than survived. They are thriving. So tonight, I am actually in the home of one of my best friends. We have been friends for, maybe 15 to 20 years now. And Tarrah is my light. She is my terror bug. So tonight, our guest is Tarrah Segal. Tarrah, tell everybody about yourself.
As Kim said, I'm Tarrah Segal. I am the mother of a beautiful 28-year-old. I'm extremely proud of her. I'm a 14-year vegan. I've worked in finance the majority of my life, so I have a strong financial background. I was born in Chicago, kind of grew up in San Diego, and moved here to North Carolina and back and forth between here and California. But I think this time I may be here to stay. And most importantly, I am a survivor of stage 4B cervical cancer.
So tell us, how did you find out that you had cancer?
Initially, I had issues with, I couldn't go to the bathroom. Like I couldn't pee. Like I'd have this like blockage. And I went to the ER a couple of times, and they said, well, we didn't see anything wrong. You know, they only do so much when you go to the ER. And after that, I said, something must be wrong. Something has to be wrong. And eventually I end up going to my gynecologist, and my gynecologist said, right away from the first exam, she said, I just really don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about this at all.
Okay.
But she couldn't say for sure because she had to get the test. And then maybe about a week, it took a week for the test results to come back. And she sent them over to an oncologist. Okay. And the oncologist called me and said, oh, okay, you know what? You know, I am sorry. I know you have the results, and I'm sorry that, you know, you have cancer, but, you know, we don't even think it's that bad. We think it may be stage 1 or maybe stage 2. You probably won't even lose your hair. And then I have to say maybe a few days later after I got the CAT scan results, and I remember because it was the day that Prince died.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was out to lunch with a friend, and I was looking at the monitor, and they said Prince had died. And I'm sure maybe they had heard it at different times before that, but that was the first time that I heard it. And then I got a call from my oncologist saying, I'm so sorry that you have stage 4B, and that's considered terminal, and we need to get you in here tomorrow.
So he told you that over the telephone?
Yeah, he told me over the phone. Yeah, he told me over the phone. And I think because of how quickly the prognosis went from being something that wasn't considered that severe to being stage 4B.
Okay. Because, you know, Tarrah, honestly, I remember the day you told me that you had cancer. We were actually at a retreat in South Carolina. You were helping me with one of my, it was a book signing. Mm-hmm. You were helping me that weekend. And initially, we talked about it. I told you I would support you in any way that you wanted me to or needed me. And you weren't going to do chemo initially because we thought it was a stage 1 or stage 2.
Yep.
So tell me about the office visit when they're talking to you and telling you that you have terminal stage. Honestly, I didn't know there was a 4B. I knew there was stage 4, But take us back to that day. The doctor is saying you have terminal stage 4B cervical cancer.
Well, when he first, after me, honestly, I hadn't come to terms with it. I kind of knew, but I was all like, okay, I mean, this is cervical cancer. Cervical cancer doesn't get that serious.
Right.
And like you, I mean, I was aware of cancer, but I wasn't aware of the different stages and the different levels of it and what that meant. So when he told me, my heart stopped. I literally felt like my heart stopped. And then for him to say it's terminal and that there is no cure, like you'll never be cured and it's terminal.
Right.
And do you understand what terminal means? And because I was talking to him about, not wanting to do chemo, about trying or thinking of other alternative, treatments.
Right.
So yeah, it was pretty tough. It was tough. My heart dropped. It literally stopped. I felt like, am I having a heart attack?
Wow. I guess that, just hearing that, it's really hard to be in the moment and process what they're really saying to you.
Yeah.
So through, what type of treatment did you have?
I ended up having a very aggressive dose, they call it like a red cocktail because like the Red Death cocktail of chemo. And initially I was supposed to have 25 rounds of radiation. Ended up with 32.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I had to have a really extreme aggressive treatment because the cancer was aggressive.
Yeah.
Because typically, and I know a lot of people don't know this because I didn't know it myself, but cervical cancer is a very slow growing cancer. And for me to have had a pap smear that came back negative, it came back clean a year before this, the oncologist was really concerned because he was saying this had to have grown extremely quickly. And even if they didn't, if they missed something, which of course he said they had to have missed something with that pap smear, but it was pretty thorough. And he was saying, because it's so aggressive, we have to fight this aggressively, which kind of took away my option to have an alternative treatment.
Okay. So did you have to have any kind of surgeries or anything?
Yeah, I had to have a brachytherapy, which is where they take a little capsule and they insert it into that area by the tumor. And they put you in this like sealed off room because you become radioactive.
Wow. Again, this is my best friend, so I've heard this story before, but when you were telling me about that initial, it's like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's just a testament to when we know that someone is going through a treatment, we really have no idea what they are going through.
Yeah.
So finish telling us about the treatment.
So I was, again, they put this radioactive material in me, and then I had to be in like this sealed room for a couple of days until the radioactivity kind of wore down and people could like come and talk to me like, oh, hi, how are you? But
that is crazy.
Yes. It was pretty intense.
So I'm just remembering, because it's you, me, and Keisha. We're best friends. We've been best friends for eons now. And you tried to push us back a little bit.
Yeah.
So what was the hardest thing for you throughout that whole experience?
Probably it was a combination of things, but the main one was I just felt so helpless. I felt helpless, and I felt like, I felt like I let myself down.
Okay, explore that. Tell me more about that.
I kind of felt like, like I should have listened to my body. Like, I started thinking of all this stuff like, you should have did this, you should have did that. And people were like, people would, and they didn't mean to, but they would say stuff like, well, you've been vegan for so long. How'd you get cancer? See, that's why I'm going to continue to eat meat. And it's the crazy little things that get in your head. And it made me feel like, okay, like you let yourself down. Maybe it was something you didn't do right. You should have went to the doctor the first time you started feeling uncomfortable, the first time this happened, the first time that happened. And I just felt helpless.
Yeah, because I think we felt pretty helpless too. I remember just on more than one occasion. I remember the day, because we're thinking of stage 1 or 2. I was at an event in Raleigh, and the phone rang. It was you, so I stepped outside to take the call, and you told me it was stage 4B. And I was strong for you on the phone then, and I'm like, okay, what is it that you need me to do? How can I support you? But I hung the phone up and cried like a 5-year-old on the sidewalk because I was scared. And throughout that whole thing, I just wanted to support you and not show you that I was scared too. So was you ever afraid that you really were going to die during this process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was devastating to first feel like I couldn't do anything, and then to feel like this is being imposed on me, and then to feel like I have to accept this to save my life, and then feeling like it might not work. It really just might not work. Once my doctor explained to me what terminal means, like he kept saying, this is terminal. He said, do you understand what terminal is? And I kept saying like, yeah, but I was like, but people survive cancer all the time.
So because now that you're saying this, I remember when you were telling us that it was terminal, I was like, okay, I know what terminal means, but do you mean like you're gonna die? Right. Is that what they're saying? Please tell me what they mean by terminal, because I'm like, I don't understand I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Like, make this clearer for me. So you had some times when you were afraid that this wasn't going to work. How did you get through that? How did you make your peace with that?
Ultimately, and it seems a little morbid, but I had to get to know death. I had to become very closely acquainted with death.
How do you get to know death?
For what, the first thing you do is you accept it. You have to imagine the absence of yourself. You have to imagine like what would everybody do? What would happen with the world without you being there?
Wow.
And could it go on? Could it go on? I'm very, very important to a lot of people, to you, my family, my daughters. But I had to kind of realize and envision and accept what would it be like without me here, and would I feel okay with people still being able to go on, with people still being able to survive. And I kind of had like all these intimate conversations with death. And I said to her, it's okay. I'm not afraid of you. I understand your purpose. I understand where you belong in this world. Like, life wouldn't exist without death.
Yeah.
And I got really, really well acquainted with her. And, I became friends with her.
So I did In the Garden with Joyful Living this morning, and one of the things that I talked about is that if life, in this journey, if there was no death, then we would never really fully appreciate life.
Absolutely. Like,
we would not know joy if we didn't know sorrow.
Exactly.
It's like life is two extreme contrasts of each other. So and I remember during that time that you and I worked together doing some meditation and things of that nature. So what role did meditation, do you believe, played in your healing?
Oh, it was pivotal for my healing. I meditated literally every day, usually multiple times per day, and usually sometimes just hours, hour after hour. I was so grateful for the meditations, the guided meditations that you used to do with me, because it's great to hear, like the CD that I had, it was great. It was wonderful, but it was so soothing to hear your voice, for you to give me my own, visualization.
Yeah.
But I had multiple CDs. I had meditation CDs for cancer pain, for cancer recovery, for remission. And I constantly listened to those. I constantly listened to the ones that you had, because unfortunately, I wasn't able to stomach the narcotics. They tried like 4 different narcotics to give me for the pain.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to stomach them. And they said it was more important that I keep down food than the pain. So I had to have something to manage the pain. And it was absolutely excruciating. And meditation saved me. It really did.
Yeah, because I can remember on more than one occasion we would do it, and at the end of the call, you would be asleep.
Exactly.
In the beginning, you would call back and like, I'm sorry, I want to sleep. And I was like, no, if you go to sleep, when you wake up, don't call me. That's the purpose of it. It's like, we want you to relax. We want you to feel soothed. And, we want you to be able to just drift into that peacefulness, because that shows that you were really at peace.
Yes.
But, so, yeah, I'm like, Tarrah. I'm like, she's asleep. I just hang the phone up. But it made me feel really good, honestly, to play just that small role in being part of your healing. And honestly, it helped me get through it, because me and Keisha, we were scared. And I remember one time we came to see you and you were so sick, and we got in the car to leave, and we didn't say anything for the first few minutes. And we talked, but we didn't have any words to say, because we were petrified. Because it's like, we're a trio. We think it's thieves, and it's like we didn't know what to say or what to do with that. So if there's somebody today who has just gotten a diagnosis of stage 4B cervical cancer, or any cervical cancer, what would you say to them? How would you minister to them today?
The first thing I would say is, it is not a death sentence. It is absolutely not a death sentence. I know it's going to seem so heavy and so large, but I think if you can just take time to kind of breathe through it and accept it, and know that you're going to control your fate. Change your mind right away from the very beginning. Change your mind. And what I started saying was, I've accepted death and I'm not going to die. I said it all the time. I made it part of my mantra. I made it part of my meditation. And I said, I've accepted death. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to first realize. Change your mind, and it's not a death sentence.
So with all of this treatment, the chemotherapy, the radiation, the surgeries, of course, you're not able to work full time doing this. How did you handle all the financial responsibility that came along with that?
Fortunately, I'm pretty good with finances.
Not pretty good, you real good with money. This child good with money.
I'm pretty good.
She is an accountant. She's been working with money for years. She's good with money. Yours and hers.
And even with all of that, I still ran dry. And I thought I was going to have to file bankruptcy.
Really?
I did, and I'm proud. I don't let my pride get in the way. I've learned as I've gotten older, but I felt like I didn't want to ask anybody. I didn't want to ask for help. I'm like, people have their own responsibilities.
Right.
But my brother-in-law, did it without my permission. He started a GoFundMe, and Kim, it was just overwhelming how many people showed me so much love. I was just, it still brings me to tears to know how many. They raised $11,000.
Wow.
$11,000. That is, it's just unprecedented.
Well, Tarrah, though, that's just a testament to how special of a person that you are. Because it's not, you're not just special to Keisha and I. You're special to everybody that comes in contact with you. Because you remember when we met, we fought because you wanted to call me Sunshine, but I wanted to call you Sunshine. You won because she's a little bit meaner than I am, guys. So she is my terror bug. I'm her sunshine.
That's
but
right.
You are like sunshine to everybody. So that's why you raise so much money, is because you are a wonderful person. Have been since the day that I met you.
Thank you.
So,
and also I had a wonderful, supportive daughter who she buckled down and she worked, and every penny she made went into maintaining our household. And I'm so proud to be her mother. I really am.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Because, it's one thing when you're sick, it comes with a whole boatload of worries and responsibilities. But people often forget the financial aspect that goes along with that. Treatments of any kind are expensive.
Yes.
And every year in the U.S., there are more bankruptcies filed because of medical reasons than any other reason. And that's a horrible position to be in, to be sick. And as a result of trying to get well, you lose everything you worked for your entire life.
Yep.
But it happens. But I'm really grateful that your brother-in-law did not ask your opinion. Because sometimes when you ask for permission, you get a no. But if you just do what you know to do to be the right thing, then you can get some things done. Because pride will keep us from doing asking for help when we really need it.
Yeah.
You're in remission now. I remember when we went to Myrtle Beach to celebrate your remission. Yes. And we got you vegan chocolate cake. And she tried to eat all of the cake. I'm like, do I have to share this? But you shared with us one morning sitting out on the balcony that you missed having eyelashes, that you never knew how important they were until you didn't have it. And talk to us for a minute about that.
Yeah, it's those little things that I think a lot of people don't realize like those little nuances of cancer, like in what cancer patients and survivors are going through and experiencing. And that one of those things was like eyelashes. Like you lose your eyelashes, you lose your eyebrows, you lose all that fine hair on your face that helps protect your skin.
See, I never even really thought about that hair was protecting your face.
Exactly. And the eyelashes protecting your eyes. And I would be bothered all the time because stuff would always get in my eyes. Just, it's those little things like that. And I think for me personally, as you're losing those little things, like my nails started to dislodge, started to detach from my fingers and turn black, and losing the eyelashes and eyebrows and hair, and everything's tender and sore on you. And I felt like I was fading. You feel like you're fading away because I was emaciated, of course.
Yeah, you were incredibly thin then.
Yes. And I just felt like I was fading away, and then I started to feel people would forget about me. Like people would forget me because I'm here shut in. I can't go anywhere. I can't be around people because I was in the hospital for 3 days because I caught a virus from my great nephew. And so you just feel like they're going to forget about you. Like you're just going to fade into the background. And I felt like I was just breaking down.
Oh, wow. So how did you keep your joy through all of this?
I definitely, my friends and family were a huge part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think once I kind of accepted death and then knew that I wasn't gonna die this time, and then I kind of allowed people to make me happy, because before then I was just like, no, I don't want nobody to see me like this. I don't want anybody to come around, and but I started saying that, you know what, because it was a possibility that I could die, I wanted to enjoy these people. I wanted to leave them with a happy part of me.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave them with, even though they see me looking bad and looking sick, I wanted to leave them with a happy memory.
Right.
And you, Keisha, all you guys, my mom came down, my sister came down from Kansas City, Missouri, and brought my nieces, which filled me with so much joy. It was just wonderful, just to see them and to be around them, and my daughter, Amber,
That's
every
amazing.
day.
That's great that you had such a great support system around you.
Yes.
So we talked about the day that you found out that you were diagnosed with terminal cancer. Tell us about the day they told you that it was in remission.
Oh, it was a joy like I can't explain.
Did you expect to hear that?
I did.
Girl, you better go ahead now.
I did, because I started saying it.
Yeah.
I started claiming it. I did. I started saying, I'm going to be all right. I said, you watch.
Yeah.
You watch.
The words that we speak over ourselves have a tremendous amount of power, because earlier this year, we all know that Kobe Bryant and 8 other people died in that tragic helicopter ride. But I heard one of his high school friends, another guy that he played basketball with, saying that when Kobe, when he was younger, used to say that he was going to die young as a legend. And, that was a number of years ago. But the guy said that he thought it was so odd that he died young as a legend. We have to be really careful about the things that we say, even in saying it in life, because we have to speak life, abundance, and prosperity over ourselves, because we actually can speak death over ourselves. So you're in remission. How long have you been in remission now?
3 years, January 4th.
Woo! So how often do you have to have your PET scans to follow up and things of that nature now?
I went to the doctor every 3 months, and I have to have a PET scan or CT scan every 3 months. And this is the first year that I moved to every 6 months.
Woohoo!
Yes.
That's amazing. Girl, why didn't you tell me we could have got some cake and stuff?
And Amber always makes sure that I celebrate on that day. Mm-hmm. She usually gets me a gift.
That's your new birthday. We always say that's your new. I actually brought you a gift, but I left it at the house. We're filming on location in another city tonight. I'll get it to you.
You're gift enough for me.
Thanks. So, honest, now talk to us. Once you've had cancer, is it ever really? Do they ever consider it to be cured?
It depends on the level or the stage that you had. If it's considered terminal, or if they say it's terminal, then you're never cured, because it means that it's in your blood. Okay. And it means that it's in tissue, that the only way to be completely cured of it is to have that tissue removed. And I can't have my lymph nodes and my pelvic muscles and tissue removed. Mm-hmm. So I'll always have cancer. My thing is I'll be in remission until I'm 90.
Yes, because we're going to feed you when you're 85. Remember that?
That's right. And yes, so it's unfortunate that when you are at a terminal stage, or a stage as high as 4B, mm-hmm. that it's something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. For the rest of my life, it's always going to be there. And my goal and my battle is to just stay in remission.
Okay. So what are you doing actively to make sure that you stay in remission?
For one, I still continue a very rigorous vegan diet.
Okay.
Initially, after treatment and while I was going through treatment, I did a whole food, plant-based. Now I'm a little more laxed as the years have gone by and I've recuperated and my immune system is starting to regenerate. But I stay vegan and I drink my alkaline water. I do not play. I do not play about my water. And thanks to you, I have that alkaline water machine, the person you introduced me to. And I try to exercise. Okay. It's important to exercise because I have neuropathy in my hands and my feet and my legs up until to my knees. And it's painful, but the human body is amazing. We're extraordinary machines. And so the pain kind of becomes second nature.
Yeah. And one of the things that I remind myself, because sometimes I still have pain in my left knee, and I have to catch myself because it can be aggravating at times. But then I remember that it's nowhere close to the pain that I used to live with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I was like, I'll take this any day of the week. Yeah. It's like, I'm here. I can walk. I can run. I can live with this.
Yep.
So is there anything else that you would like to add before we end today?
I would just like people to know that, if you are going through something, whether it be cancer or anything else, always remember to allow yourself to be happy. And if you have friends and family, to allow them to make you happy too, because it really, 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 really helps. And always believe in yourself. Always believe you first, always, and change your mind.
Awesome. Tarrah, I want to thank you so very much for being willing to talk with us tonight, because sharing things about any kind of diagnosis are deeply personal. So I appreciate you sharing yourself with us. So guys, again, thank you for watching the Joyful Living Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Joyful Living Podcast. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you're on Anchor FM or Spotify or one of the other platforms, be sure to hit the support button. You can support us for less than a cup of coffee every month. And your support allows us to travel so that we can continue to bring you these wonderful stories. So guys, thank you so much. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday for your next episode of the Joyful Living Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Dixon. Thank you.